So join at the proper time. Already 15 minutes is over. So class is at 11:30, not 11:40. So in the previous sessions, we have discussed about the declaration of the class as well as the declaration of the method, as well as we have seen the creation of the object and the purpose of the object. And then we have seen the constructor method also. So the main purpose of constructor is to initialize the variables, to initialize the values, or to assign a value to that variable. So we have seen some examples regarding that. And then we have seen the private member, accessing the private members also. That means, so if you declare the variable, for example, so if you declare the variable as private, so if you declare a variable as private, then how do you access this variable A? So this can be accessed by using the get method. So by using the get method, get A, the variable name is A. By using this method, we can access. We can access this variable A by using get method. That means if you want to assign a value to A, means it can be accessed by, if you want to access any class member, we need an object. Suppose that we have created an object objx. We have created an object objx. So this A variable can be accessed by, generally we can access that variable objx.a, objx.a, or else objx.a is equal to 10. Like that we can access that variable. But here A is declared as private. So A is declared as private. We cannot directly access this variable. So we have to access this variable through the method, through the public method get method. So this can be accessed by A. This can be accessed by get A method. This can be accessed by the method get A. Get A is a method, public method. So which is used to access the private members. Here private member is A. So A can be accessed in this way, objx.get A. So we cannot directly access this variable. So this is how we can access the private members. Either it may be a variable or it may be a method. Then we have seen the constructor. So we have seen the constructor. So what do you mean by constructor? Constructor is basically used to initialize the variable. Suppose that here we have two variables a comma b. So we have two variables a comma b, a b. So here I want to initialize the values to a and b. I want to initialize the value to a and b. So this can be possible by using the creating the constructor method. So basically constructor is a method. So this is the constructor method. This is the constructor method. So here we are going to construct that means initialize the variables. So here AB is the variables. So this is the method. Data one is a constructor method. So here class name. So here class name as well as constructor name, both are same. So if you want to define any constructor, then the class name should be same as constructor name. So data one is a constructor. We are saying that this is a method. So we are passing some parameter. So we want to initialize the two variables a, b. That's why we are passing the two parameters a and b. So we are assigning the a to x, b to y. A is equal to x, b is equal to y. So we are assigning the values to the variables a and b. So this can be named as parametric constructor. So this can be named as parametric constructor. That means we are using parameters to initialize the variables. So available parameters, all the available parameters are initialized in the constructor. A is equal to x, b is equal to y. So this is how we can use the constructor. And then, so we have written some method, display method. We have defined some display method. So here performing some addition operation, we are returning the value C. And then this method is also declared as private. this method is declared as private. That means this can be accessed only through the public method get. So I am writing the public method get display. So if you want to access display means we have to use the method get display. If you want to access the variable a means we have to use the get a. So then we are writing the main method, that means main class, driver class. So in this we are creating some object. We are creating an object objx, and then we are passing the parameters. So this is very, very important. We are passing the parameters here, 10 and 20. That means, so here data one, here we have defined the constructor. Here we have defined the constructor. So constructor is meant to initialize the values. So we have initialized the values a to x, b to y, a is equal to x and b is equal to y. So we have to give the values a value and b value. So a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10, 20. So we have to pass the variables 10, 20. So this can be done at the time of object creation. So this can be done at the time of object creation. So we are creating an object objx of type data1. Data1 is the class name, and we are using the new operator as well as data1. So data1 is the either class name or constructor name. So here we can pass the parameter. Here we can pass the parameters 10, 20. So constructor can pass the parameters 10, 20. Constructor can initialize the variables, that is 10, 20. So we have to give the values here. So how many constructors parameters are there? Two parameters. So two values has to be passed here. Two parameters, two values. Then we will access the variables or methods by obj dot. By using the object we can access the methods, but here the method is display, but the display method is declared as private. That means we need a private public get method. So public get method is get display. So by using the get display we can access that. So this is how you can access the private members as well as creating the constructors. Okay now. So this is a simple illustration of the classes, methods, as well as constructors. So you see, this single program can illustrate all these things, and then private members also, accessing the private members. So this is all about the this program. So next we will move on to constructor overloading. So constructor overloading. Let us move to constructor overloading. So before that we can see the parameter passing. That means, so a method has some arguments. A method has some arguments to pass. That means, so let us take this method display. So display is a method. So this method can pass the parameters. Within the braces. So you can pass the parameters. So these parameters can be passed by two ways. So in the C language, we have call by value and call by reference. So same can be applied here. So call by value, call by reference. We can pass the parameters by value, or we can pass the parameters by reference. Call by reference. So in the call by reference means in C language, you have pointers. So in Java, we don't have any pointers, but we have the object reference. So by using the object, we can pass the parameters. So there are two ways in Java. Parameter passing can be done in Java in two ways. First one is pass by value, call by value. But that means you can pass the parameters by using the values int a comma int b, like that. Second method is we can pass the parameters by using the objects. That means by using the references. So the reference is nothing but an object. So there are two ways to pass the parameters. The method can pass the parameters in two ways, by value and by reference. So let us check one by one. So call by value. So let us see this small example. So I am defining the class pass1, and then I am creating the method calc. I am creating the method calc. Here I am passing the parameters m and parameters n. So here I am passing the two parameters. So this is the method. The method can pass two parameters. Call by value. So this is the type of call by value. Then we are performing m plus is equal to 4. That is m is equal to m plus 4. And then n is equal to n minus 2. And then we are summing the m plus n, and we are returning this value to the method. And we are returning this value to the method. So this is the calc function, calc method. So I am defined the one method within the class pass1. So this is the end of the class, and then we are creating the main class. We are creating the main class, that means driver class. So the class name is by value. The class name is by value. So I am defining the main method here. So this is the main method. So in this, I am initializing the values I is equal to 2 comma I is equal to 8. So I am initializing the two values, and then to access these variables or something, we need an object. So I am creating an object of type pass1. Pass1 obj1 is equal to new space pass1. So I have created the object obj1. So if you want to access anything, we can access this method calc. We can access this method calc by using the obj1. So we can access this like this: obj1 dot, the method is calc. The method is calc. So here the parameters are I comma j. We are passing the parameters I comma j. So here we have two parameters mn. So we have to pass the two parameters. Here the values are 2 and 8. Here the values are 2 and 8. So here this is called call by values. So we are passing the parameters by using the values. Here we are passing the parameters by using the values I comma j, a comma b, c comma d, 10 comma 20. So like that we can pass the parameters. So this is called call by value. So let us check the output. So the program name is by value, Java C by value dot Java. So no errors. So the value is 12. The function returns the value 12. So that means, so we are passing it 2 and 8. So 2 and 8 means here the value is 2. Here the value is 8. So m value is 2, n value is 8 here. So m is equal to m plus 4. So here m value is 2. 2 plus 4, 6. 2 plus 4, 6. And then n is equal to n minus 2. That means 8 minus 2, 6. So 6 plus 6, 12. So here we are performing addition. 6 plus 2, 6, 8. 6 plus 6, 12. So 12 is written here. So the function returns the value 12. So this is the one type of passing the parameter. So this is called call by value. Then we have another type, call by reference. So call by reference means in C language we have used the pointers. So here call by reference means we can use the object objx, obj1, objy. So we can use the objects as parameters. We can pass the parameters as objects. So that can be treated as call by reference. So let us see the call by reference. So here I am defining one class ref, and then I am declare the variable n, and then I am creating the method add. I am creating the method add. So here check this one. Here I am passing the object here. In general, we have int add int a comma int b. So this is the general syntax. This is the call by value. This is the general syntax, but here I am passing the object of type reference. So this is the class name. How can you declare the class? How can you pass the parameter data type space variable name? Data type space variable name. Here also data type space variable name. So here data type means class name reference. Variable means object. So we can pass the object here. Objx is the object name. So in this method, we are performing objx.n is equal to objx.n plus 4. So that means, so n is equal to n plus 4. So this is nothing but a, so this is nothing but a n is equal to n plus 4. So this is a simple expression, n is equal to n plus 4. N is equal to n plus 4, but we are passing the parameter as reference. We are passing the parameter as reference. So we have to access this through the reference variable. So here reference variable is objx. So objx.n is equal to objx plus 4. So we can return the objx.n. Objx.n. So in general, we can access the, if you pass the parameters to the values, then we can access directly n is equal to 4, n is equal to n plus 4, like that. So if you pass the parameter as object, then we have to access the method members by using the object name objx. So this is the method. So this is the method he has defined, and then I am defining the main class. So main method, I am defining the object. I am creating the object in order to access this method add. In order to access this method add, we need a object. So I am creating the object objy new reference. So this is the creation of the object. So I am initializing the variable n is equal to 10. So objy.n is equal to 10. So this is the initialization. So this is the accessing of the variable n through the object y, objy.10. So here we have two objects, objx, objy. So objy is the main object, objx is the reference object. Objx is a reference object. So this object scope is within this method. Within this method, this object scope is within this method only. So this is the main object. Then we are going to access this method. Then we are going to access this method. So objy.add, objy.add, within the bracket we can pass the parameter as object. So here object is objy, not objx. We don't use the objx outside that class. We don't use the objx outside that class ref. So here the main object is objy. So we can pass the parameters by using this main class members only, objy.add. So here it reflects that. So in general, we can int add int a comma int b. So here, suppose here objy.add, we can write I comma j. In the previous example, we have written the I comma j. Previous example, I comma j. So these variables should not be same. These variables should not be same. That means we don't give the objx here. We don't give the objx here. We have to give this main method members only. Objy.add. Add of, we are passing the parameter by using the object. That means reference. That means we have to pass the reference value. So the reference is objy. So this is the passing the parameters by value as well as by reference. So any doubts? So if you have any doubts, let me know. So this is the all about the classes and methods. So methods, parameter passing, and then we have set the constructor methods, and then we have set the private members accessing also. So let us move on to constructor overloading. So we have two concepts, method overloading as well as method overriding. So in the theory also we have set the both the things, method overloading as well as method overriding. So method overriding can be discussed in the inheritance concept. Method overloading can be discussed now. So method overloading means if the if the two or more methods has same the name, but the varies with the signature. The methods has the same name, but their parameter list is different, their return type is different, their logic is different. So that type of methods are known as, that concept is known as method overloading. Method overloading. So the same method name can be used for different purposes. So that is method overloading. So the main difference is here, the method name is same, but the parameter list is different, the return types are also different, the definition is also different. The only thing here the same is method name. That is method overloading. So that can be possible in constructor overloading also. Constructor overloading also, that means the constructor name is same, but the constructor can pass the different types of parameters at different situations. So if you uh, that method can be named as constructor overloading. So we have method overloading as well as constructor overloading. So method overloading means the two or more methods has same name, but their signature is different. That is method overloading. So like that, constructor overloading means the constructor name is same, but the constructor parameter lists are different. So we can have either we can have constructor overloading as well as method overloading. So let us see the constructor overloading first. So let us check the constructor overloading. So let us check this program. So I have defined the class data1. So I have declared the variables A, B, C. So these are instance variables. Okay. So here data1. So that means this is the constructor one. This is constructor one. This is constructor one. So data one. So same as class name. So here the constructor is going to initialize the two variables, int x comma int y. So we are assigning the a to x, b to y. So this is the constructor one. So again we are defining the another constructor. Constructor 2. This is the constructor 2. This is constructor 2. So here the constructor name is same, data1. The constructor name is same, data1, but here he's passing the only single parameter. But here he's passing the two parameters. Here it has two parameters. Here he is passing the only one parameter. So a is equal to x. He's initializing the a value to the x, but he's initializing the b value to the 15. So this is constant for the entire program. B is equal to 15 is the constant. There is no need to pass this variable. So here AB values are initialized dynamically, but here only A value is assigned. B value is, for all the cases, B value is 15. So B value is constant. That's why he's not passing the second parameter. So constructor 1 has two parameters, two initializations. Constructor 2 has only one parameter. So he's passing the only one value. He's passing the only A value. So B value is constant. B value is, at any case, B value is 15 only. At any case, B value is 15. So he's only passing the A value. So this is constructor 2. Next, this is another constructor. He is defining the another constructor, same name, data1, data1, data1. But here he is not passing the any value. So this constructor not passing the any values. That means for entire the program, the constructor, the variables are constants. That means he is defining the literals. So a is equal to 25, b is equal to 35. For all the cases, a value is 25, b value is 35. So we can access this a values and b values. So there is no need to pass the parameters here. There is no need to pass the parameters here. So this can be named as, I think, copy constructor. So this is a copy constructor. This is a parametric constructor. So here three constructors are defined. Three constructors are defined. Same with same name. Data one, data one, data one. So three constructors, but their parameter list is different. Here two parameters has passed. Here only single parameter. So here no parameter is passed. So this type of implementation is known as overloading. So these are the constructors. So it is named as constructor overloading. So this is named as constructor overloading. And then next I think is usually displaying the method. So he's defining the method display. So he's going to add the two variables. And then main method. So main class, main method. So he's defining the three objects: objx, objy, objz. So for the three constructors, so we have defined the three different constructors. So for three constructors, and that means for three initializations, he is creating the three objects: objx, objy, objz. objx, objy, objz. So objx is of type data one, class name. Objy of type data one, class one, class name. Objz of type data one, new operator. So here check this one. So data one. So this is the constructor. Data one. So in the first constructor, parametric constructor. That means we are passing the two variables. So that's why we have to pass the two variables here, 10, 20. 10, 20. In the second constructor, we are passing the single value. We are passing only the single value. Second value is initialized in the constructor itself. So we have to pass the only single value, 85. We are passing the single value 85. So second value is not necessary. Second value is already defined in the constructor. So then third constructor, we are not at all passing any value. So check the constructor definition here. So data one. So we are not passing any value. So two values are initialized in the constructor itself. So there is no need to pass the values. So three constructors, three different parameters, three different situations. We can use the three different constructors here. So then we are calling the methods. So objx.display, objy.display. So the method is display. So here the display method can perform addition and returns the summation value. objz.display. So this is the method overloading, constructor overloading. So here the constructor name is same, but the constructor signature is different. The constructor name is same, but the parameter list is different. So this type of implementation is known as constructor overloading. So while creating the object for three constructors, we are creating the three objects. So we have to pass the parameters carefully. In the three different situations. If you pass the single parameter, we have to give the single value. If you pass the two parameters, we have to give the two values. So if you don't pass the any parameters, we don't give the any value in the constructor parameters. So this is the constructor overloading. So let us check this program. Java C overloading. So for three different display methods, so three different outputs. Objx.display means x value is, a value is 10, b value is 20, 10 plus 20, 30. In the second case, second obj y dot display means a plus b. So a value is 85, b value is 15. 85 plus 15, 15 is already defined in the constructor. So next obj z dot display. That means third constructor. The values are not passed. The values are given in the constructor itself, 25, 35. So 25 plus 35, 60. The output is displayed 60. So here same constructor name is used. So this is the constructor overloading. So do you have any doubts in constructor overloading? So constructor 3 is copy constructor or default constructor. 1 minute. So this can be treated as default constructor. That means we are by default we are giving the values as a is equal to 25, b is equal to 35. So that can be treated as a default constructor. So let us check what is copy constructor. So this is a default constructor. So if you pass the two parameters means you don't initialize any value means that is parametric constructor. So copy constructor is different. So this copy constructor can be, we can see in the inheritance. So this is the constructor overloading. So then we will move to the method overloading. So method overloading. So that means the method has the same name, but the parameter list is different. So let us have one example. So we can do it in the virtual lab, method overloading. So this is the virtual lab link. So let us practice the method overloading in the virtual lab. So in this we have method overloading. In this we have method overloading. So let us understand this concept here. So theory. So here check the what exactly method overloading is. So he is giving some examples. So here check the methods here. So void, the method name is fun function c. So this is the one method. So this is the second method. This is third method. This is fourth method. So check the parameters here. So first in the first case, the return type is void. The function name is func. So he is not passing any parameters. So in second case, void function c. The method name is same, return type is same, but the parameter list is different. So here he has passed the no parameter. Here he is passing the single parameter of type int. So in the next type, the return type is float. The function name is same, but the parameter list is different. Next case, function name is same, return type is different, but he is passing the two different types of parameters, a comma b. So here in all these cases, the function name is same. In all these cases, the same thing is function c. The function name is same. The function name is same in all the cases, but parameter list is different, but the return type and parameter list is different. So this type of implementations are known as method overloading. Method overloading. How to check? He's giving the examples also. Method overloading. So here he's passing the two parameters, display. So for display, method name is same. Method name is same, display. Method name is display. Here we have one parameter. Here we have two parameters. So this is method overloading. Method overloading. So let us simulate this. Let us simulate this one. Start the experiment. So public class. So give the class name as some student. Next one. So here give the method name as some add. Here the method name is add. So here we are passing the two parameters, a comma b. So return type is void. So this is one method. So this is one method. I am performing the a plus b addition. Next. So I am defining the another method with the same name. So method overloading means same name. Method has, in the previous cases, the method name is add. So here also the method name is add. In previous cases, we have passed the two parameters. Here I am passing the three parameters. So this is the second method. Next, main method. So in order to access those parameters, we need an object, obj x. I'm creating the object. So I am going to call the two methods, add methods. The method name is add, but here the parameters are different. In one situation, I have given the two parameters. In the second scenario, I have given the three parameters. I have given the three parameters. Next, so this is the code. Execute. So 34 and 108, 103. So the same method, the method name is same here, but the parameter list is different. So this is how you can implement. So check the program. So the method name is same here. The method name is same. We are passing the two parameters here. In the second case, method name is same, but we are passing the three parameters. So this type of implementation is known as method overloading. So this is very, very important. Okay, na? Do you have any doubts in this? So in today's class, we have discussed the private member accessing as well as parameter passing through the value and through the reference variable. And then we have seen the constructor overloading as well as the method overloading. So this is all about the classes, objects, and methods. So in the next class, we can go for the third unit. That means arrays and inheritance. So we can write the programs regarding arrays as well as inheritance in the next class. Do you have any doubts? So, okay, thank you.